What's going on, everyone? So the Lakers have several needs that are going to need to be addressed this offseason. Now, obviously, the biggest one is the center spot, right? Rob Pelinka said he wants to really prioritize the center as well as, defense out on the perimeter, right? The Randy guys. But another big need, and arguably as big, is just like bench depth, right? Like Lakers had one of the worst benches in all of basketball. They were like unplayably bad in the playoffs, right? A lot of people blame JJ and were like, oh, JJ Redick didn't play his bench and didn't do this, that, and the other. And it's like, who is he supposed to play? Like, people, the kind of go-to I see from people is Dalton Connect. It's like, okay, well, one, we just played the most physically imposing team in all of basketball that as soon as Dalton Connect got on the court, all would have targeted him, gotten to his chest, and been as physical with him as possible. And he's also a rookie, so he's probably not getting the whistle the way that some other guys would. Two, he's also statistically our worst defensive player by like every metric. And you're what, counting on him to come in and save the Lakers? Right? And it's like Gabe Vincent was unplayable. Jackson Hayes, yeah, I know he was starting, but like he was not great in those spots. Couldn't play Alex. It's like, who was he supposed to go to? Right? He trusted his five best guys. Right? The only guy that I think you could have made an argument for that should have gotten more playing time was Jared Vanderbilt. But outside of Vando, like, I didn't really blame him for not playing anybody because the bench was that bad. Guys were that bad. Like, our starters were pretty bad too. But you did see, like, Rui Hachimura step up, and he's a guy that's been really good. Right? There is an argument to be made for the Lakers to kind of keep as much cap flexibility going forward as possible. So, you keep a Rui Hachimura. He's a guy that can, you can renew, give him a new contract, sign a new extension, or just let him kind of fall off the books. Either way, you're in good shape, right? Same thing with Kleba and all these other guys, right? Point is, Lakers, again, need to address the center position. After addressing the center position, yes, they do need athleticism badly. They need two-way guys badly. It's easier said than done, though, right? Every team in the league wants two-way guys. Every team in the league wants 3-and-D guys. Every team in the league wants shooting. Every team in the league wants athleticism. You look at these teams that keep advancing and going far, like the Thunder, Wolves, and all that stuff. They're just athletic, long, versatile, right? Like, so, again, every team in the league wants that. So it is going to be very hard for the Lakers to get enough of that to really change the landscape of the team, right? So do you go get the center, and then on top of getting the centers, focus on the thing that you can all but guarantee, which is the bench, right? Like, go get the quality bench guys, right? And in the process, maybe you can get some of those things that the Lakers need, right? Like, again, can you get a Gary Trent Jr.? Gary Trent Jr. would be great. Young, athletic, 3-and-D guy. He can be a little lackluster defensively, right? He's a guy that can kind of lose sight, lose focus defensively, but when he is locked in and engaged, he can be a good defender, right? Kevin Porter Jr., a guy that can just go get buckets, right? Score the basketball, right? Can you get a quality backup center? Can you get 2 or 3 guys that can come in, give you some production off the bench, get you a bucket getter or two, and then kind of just like go into the season. Now you have just a better bench, right, with legit scoring and whatnot, right? You're got the center position solved up, right? Assuming the starter and the bench, whatever that is, whether it's, trading for a Nick Claxton or a Daniel Gafford, or you go and sign a guy or draft, whatever, right? And then go get a Jericho Sims or something like that for the bench. However they want to approach, right? Solve the center position because it's the biggest priority. Solve the center position. Boom. You got the center position, check. Then from there, again, like if you can find those players, you can find them, then you got to do it. But I also don't hate the idea of the Lakers just going, hey, let's shift to the bench, right? Let's try to get, 2 guys in free agency that can really kind of round out and bolster the bench unit. Maybe even at some point move in the starting unit if they prove that they're just doing better than another guy, right? And then now you got that. Now you've really upgraded the bench role. So now you have 2 huge needs solved immediately, right? You got your center position, and then now you got your bench depth. And now what does that look like going into the season? And then you can kind of be patient, kind of wait and find that right trade or that right move or whatever, or that guy that's like, hey, I want to be traded to the Lakers, right? Maybe you can get a 3-and-D wing as you move closer to trade deadline. Because also you got to keep in mind, the Lakers' best assets are the expiring contracts. They are. And they're appreciating assets. So the closer we get to the trade deadline, the more valuable those picks are going to be. The more likely it is that teams are going to pony up to get, one of those guys, because they're going to want to clear the deck a little bit. Like, they'll still have value in the offseason, but they'll have more value once you get traded. Like, you'll have teams that kind of are like, okay, we need a pick direction one way or another. So let's get off of this guy. Let's get off of this guy. You get teams that, wanted to be good that aren't, and they're like, we kind of need to retool here a little bit. And you get teams that wanted to be, bad and are actually kind of good. And they're like, let's get rid of some of these veterans, right? Because we don't want to be a play-in team or a playoff team or anything like that. We want a good draft pick or a chance at a good draft pick or whatever, right? You never know what a team's thinking once you get to the trade deadline. So if you're the Lakers, put you in a better position to solve two of your biggest needs. Kind of focus on the things that you can control. Focus on the things that you can get an upgrade. And, along the way, obviously, again, you still want to do your due diligence. You still want to kind of keep an eye out. You still want to, have those conversations and see if you can get that guy or two or whatever, right? Can you kind of find those things, right? And if you can, then great. You're in great shape, right? So, but if you can solve the center position, now center's locked up, you're good. Don't have to worry about that no more, right? And again, 2 centers. I believe the Lakers need bare minimum 2 centers, right? And again, your backup doesn't have to be anything crazy. Again, it can be a Jericho Sims. That's fine, right? Or if you, in a perfect world, Clint Capella or something like that, I think would be great and ideal as well. But if you're the Lakers, get that solved, and then I would shift focus to, can we get bench production? Can we get guys that can really kind of elevate, help us score the basketball, shoot the basketball, defend, right? Try to do everything on a cheaper scale. Maybe take a couple flyers on some guys, a couple guys here and there that are kind of question marks, kind of iffy, or maybe slightly underperformed at this place or that place. But, it's like, hey, let's see what they can do alongside a playmaker like Luka, or maybe a guy had a down year shooting the basketball, but, he's a career 36% guy, but last year he was 32%. It's like, ooh, but he'd be playing next to Luka. He'd be playing next to LeBron. I think of the quality looks he'd get think of the opportunities. Can the Lakers bolster the bench? I do think it's one of the priorities that they should really kind of focus on. But as always, this is a discussion. I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you think yes, I agree. Go, get the bench help, obviously center priority, then get the bench help. I do think, no, you got to focus and upgrade the starters. How do you feel? Whatever your thoughts are. Either way, again, love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. So we enjoy these types of videos and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.